Bonjour.
Bonsoir, petite femme noire. We're here to see Mr. Calvin Candy.
Antoine.
Thank you.
That was actress Danielle Watts in the 2012 film Django Unchained. That actress says Los Angeles police detained her last week because they allegedly thought she was a prostitute. Watts, who's African American, and her white boyfriend claim police racially profiled the two of them after they were seen kissing in public. Her boyfriend took this video that we're showing you right now of her in handcuffs. This morning, TMZ released new audio of the encounter. We're going to speak to the couple who are with us in Los Angeles in a moment. But first, I want to let you listen to this audio from TMZ.
Somebody called the police saying that there was lewd acts in the car.
No lewd acts happening.
Doesn't matter. I have to ID you.
We're not doing anything.
Somebody
I'm on
called.
the phone with my dad. This is my boyfriend.
Okay, I want to see your ID. Somebody called, which means gives me the right to be here. So it gives me the right to identify you.
Do you know how many times I've been called? The cops have been called just for being black. Just because we're black and he's white. I'm just being really honest.
I don't. Who brought up a race card?
I'm bringing it up because I
said nothing about you being black. And I have every right to ask your ID.
And I have every right to say no. And if you'd like
no, you do not have every right to say no.
You can take me down to the court office and I can make a scene about it.
No.
And you know what? I have a publicist and I work as an actor at this studio.
I'm mildly interested. You have a publicist, but I'm going to get your ID. Do you see what time it is? 15 minutes ago, I would have been gone.
But because I didn't give you my ID, you felt that was enough for me?
It is enough, ma'am. It is enough.
That's fine. You know what? This is not a problem for me.
Okay.
Because I'm going to get all of your names.
It's obviously a problem for you.
No. What is a problem for me is that you think you're better than me, and you think you have more power than me.
I think I do have more power than you.
Police are saying they are investigating the incident. Danielle Watts and her boyfriend, Brian James Lucas, join us now from Los Angeles. And I watched you clutch your chest when you heard all of that. I'm curious, Danielle, oftentimes when we go through these situations or any kind of traumatizing situation, if we get an opportunity to see it like we've been able to here on video, sometimes we feel differently. Do you feel differently watching it than experiencing it?
I feel like it's something that I'm very appreciative is being made aware, to the people of this country. I feel humbled by the experience, and I know that there's a lot for us all to grow and learn from it.
Well, that's actually a very good point. Why don't we break down as best we can what happened? We understand police said they received a call to 911 from somebody claiming that a man and woman were involved in a quote-unquote sexual act. You guys say you were just making out in the car like a couple does. The police show up. Take us from there.
So the police show up. I'm outside of the car at this point talking to my dad on the phone. And he comes to speak to Brian and asks for my ID. Doesn't even talk to me. Asks Brian for my ID. And when I overhear that while I'm on the phone, I interrupt them and I say to Brian, no, he will not be giving you my ID because I haven't done anything wrong. And I know that I'm not required to do that. I'm talking to my dad, nothing personal, but I'm walking away. And when I walked away,
So let me ask you, why not? Extrapolate on that a little bit more, Danielle, because I think some people might not understand why you wouldn't just easily give them your ID and let them carry on their way and you on yours.
Well, it's because I believe in America and what it stands for, and I believe in freedom. And I think that a country that calls itself the land of the free and the home of the brave, if I'm within my amendment rights, my constitutional rights to say no, unless you're charging me with a crime, I will not be giving you my ID. That is a right that I stand up for because of the shoulders that I stand on, because of the people who fought so hard for the rights that came before me. Black, white, all people have been fighting for these rights for freedom. It's beyond race at this point.
I know that we asked a couple of our legal analysts because we wanted to understand what the law is in California, because many of us wonder, do police have the right to ask you for ID? In California, the police, if they have reasonable suspicion, they are permitted to detain an individual for a reasonable amount of time in order to ascertain the person's identity. You also heard on the video there, the police officer even saying, look, if you just give me your ID, 15 minutes ago, I could have been gone. Do you regret just not handing him your ID now, or do you still feel strongly like I didn't have to?
I still feel strongly like I didn't have to. I feel that it raises awareness. I'm thankful for the experience, not to say that I feel like I have to go through it again, but it's causing a lot of discussion, and I feel like that's the purpose of the media, of artists, of actors and celebrities, to talk about things and raise awareness so that we can all decide what kind of society we want to live in.
Well, and it is important to have discussions about this so assumptions are not made. And it sounds as though maybe some assumptions were made initially. For example, that the call that was generated to 911, they thought they saw something. Let me be frank. Were you two doing something you shouldn't have been doing?
In my opinion, it's not a crime to be fully clothed, showing affection on a public street in our own car. If we're fully clothed, and it doesn't matter how passionately we're making out, it's my right and my pleasure to enjoy myself. And I don't feel like I should feel shameful for that or feel like I should have to apologize for that.
Now, Brian, let me ask you about this, because I know the two of you, you're two different people. You're both involved in this scenario. You see it a little differently than Danielle. You think that this was racial profiling. I'm not putting words in your mouth, am I?
Well, you know, the only reason I even suspected that one bit is that the clip didn't show the beginning. The clip that you played, that was like towards the very end, and in the beginning he came up and said, I had a call that there was a black and white couple, and he's the one that actually brought that up. And she even mentioned it. It became a little bit of a discussion at the beginning when she tried to get him to talk to her dad, which was on the phone, which wanted to speak to her. He was definitely like edging me on a bunch as well. Like when he pulled up, he asked me questions that he didn't ask me directly about the fact that it just made me feel like I was like a client and she was a prostitute. I mean, the questions he was asking and the way he was doing it, and then throughout the whole experience, he kept on doing it. Like towards the end, he told her, "Do you want me to call the paramedics?" Throwing out the innuendo that she was crazy, and just things like that were just like very displeasing.
Do you see either of you how it could have been misconstrued initially and then on the outset? Do you see that? And if so, how, let's put your shoe, because again, you're talking about awareness, right, Danielle, about it's important to have these conversations. Put yourselves in the shoes of an officer and they encounter a situation. How would you have done it if it were you?
Well, I've actually played an officer before, and I've thought a lot about this. I think it comes down to seeing the humanity in another person and having empathy and awareness, you know, for what your actions are and the repercussions of your actions. So when the officer came up, he didn't even ask me for my ID. He asked Brian. So he didn't even give me the respect of telling me what happened, you know. So for me, if he had come to me and said, "Excuse me, ma'am, like, you seem like a respectable person, but, you know, someone made a call. Can we just talk to you for a second?" The whole situation would have been different. Absolutely. But he came at it with a very condescending manner that I feel like is typical of what's happening in law enforcement across the country right now. And if we're the country that's supposed to be representing freedom and equality for all, then I think that our police officers should be trained in treating people with that sort of dignity. It's just common sense to me.
Let me just mention here quickly, because the LAPD has provided a response. We gave them an opportunity, and they said, quote, "It was a call generated by a citizen. There was an indication on the radio call that a male white and female black," I hate that terminology, but it is police speak, "were involved in a sexual act inside a Mercedes with the vehicle door open. 2 people were briefly detained, but it was revealed that no crime had been committed." That's a spokesperson for the LAPD. And we're also reporting today that an internal complaint investigation has been initiated regarding this matter. So we should let you know the whole matter is under investigation. To the point of how it ended, how was it that it then ended, that you were allowed to go on your way?
Well, Brian was tired of seeing me in handcuffs, humiliated outside of a studio that I've worked at. And so he got my ID, gave it to the cop. They searched it, find out that they had nothing to charge me with, no priors, nothing that would indicate probable cause, and they had to let me go.
But again, and I'm not trying to harp on this. You gave your ID to Brian. He gave it to the police. You see that if you had done that earlier, it might not have escalated this far?
I certainly understand that, but I do, again, feel like part of my role as a public figure is to raise awareness and be strong enough to say and do the things that maybe people who don't have the advantages that I have aren't strong enough or don't have the know-how or don't have the awareness to do. So because I'm aware of the history of our country, I've went to college, I've studied the law, I've studied, these sort of situations. For me, standing up for that constitutional right was a gift and a blessing that I had the opportunity to do that, because now there's some kid going through the same thing that doesn't have the same opportunity to talk to the news the way that I do. And that kid can watch this and go, you know what? I don't have to be afraid of police officers anymore because I live in a country that says that we're free.
But again, the ACLU generally advises people the best course of action is to give the police your ID so they can ID you, carry on. I just have to say that so that we don't have a situation. It ended positively for you, and I don't want a situation to spiral out of control for someone else who doesn't have the kind of spotlight that you have. Daniele Watts, Brian James Lucas, thank you for getting up awfully early to tell your story here firsthand for us, okay?
Who's the owner of the car?
That's me. No registration?
No, don't worry about it. I have her ID.
Well, I have her passport.
Okay.
Daddy, can you
Who is she to you?
For a second? Hold on, excuse me. What's the issue?
Somebody called the police saying that there was lewd acts in the car.
There's no lewd acts happening.
Doesn't matter, I have to ID you.
We're not doing anything.
Somebody
I'm on
called.
the phone with my dad. This is my boyfriend.
Okay, I want to see your ID. Somebody called, which means gives me the right to be here. So it gives me the right to identify you
Do you know how
by
many
law.
times I've been called? The cops have been called just for being black.
That is
just
not,
because we're black and he's white. I'm just being really honest.
I don't. Who brought up a race card?
I'm bringing it up because
I said nothing about you being black. And I have every right to ask your ID.
And I have every right to say no. And if you'd like
No,
to,
you do not have every right to say no.
You can take me down to the court office and I can make a scene about it.
No.
And you know what? I have a publicist and I work as an actor
mildly
at this
interested.
studio.
I'm mildly interested. You have a publicist, but I'm going to get your ID.
I am going to say no. And if you'd like my ID, you can say that I am resisting arrest, and you can take me down.
There's no resisting. You're just interfering.
And what I'm saying is I have not done anything wrong. I'm on the phone with my father. My stepmom is dying.
Do you know what probable cause is? You know what probable cause is?
Yes, and I have none. What is the probable cause?
I have probable cause.
I'm sitting
We
here
received a
talking on
radio
the phone
call
to my
here.
father.
That's
so if
mildly
you'd like
interesting.
to demand my ID.
Can you have her ID, please?
No, you may not. You may not have my ID. And if you would like to demand
L30,
it,
send me a female officer, please.
Please do.
I'm going to get your ID one way or the other.
That's fine. You can do whatever you like.
Yes, I am.
Daddy.
Thank you for bringing up the race card. I never hear that.
Daddy, I can't believe it. Like, all the things that are happening with the cops right now, I can't make out with my boyfriend in front of my fucking studio without getting the cops called on me.
We were like in our garage and the cops came up just because like someone said it was our place and someone said
because it's my right to sit on the fucking street corner and take out with my boyfriend. That's my right.
Keep yelling. It really helps. It really helps.
My dad would like to talk with you.
No.
My father would like to talk with you. He's on your speakerphone, so here you go. Daddy, you're on speakerphone. He doesn't want to hear. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. It doesn't matter. You can call the cops on somebody and all of a sudden you're a criminal. I'm just going to walk away.
Great.
I'd already be gone, just so you know. I'd be gone.
You don't need me. Can I get my license?
No, I got your license. I said I'd already be gone. I would be gone. Yeah. Yeah. I'd be gone.
I don't understand how we live in a free country where I'm at a parking lot making out with my boyfriend and I get arrested
Yeah, be
because
careful.
somebody called the cops.
A little emotional.
I don't understand how we live in a free country where cops just put you in handcuffs for nothing.
What's your first name? Why do you think you're in handcuffs? Do you think we put you in handcuffs or you did?
If I put myself in handcuffs,
Who do you think put yourself in handcuffs? Who do you think put you in handcuffs?
I think that this officer right here put me in
No,
handcuffs.
I think you did the minute you left the scene.
Yes, because I was
Do you
being
see?
treated as
I'm
if
sorry.
I was a criminal before
I'm sorry.
I
Do
even
you
did
see the
anything.
gentleman here in handcuffs? Is the gentleman here in handcuffs before you? No, he's
You
not.
think that I'm stupid?
I don't think you're stupid
What's
at all.
your first name, Officer Parker?
My name is Sergeant Parker, and that's all you need to know.
Why do you need to know my first name, but I don't need to know your
Because
first name?
I need to identify you as a source of a radio call.
So I think I'd like to identify you to my publicist. What's your first name?
Now you see why you're in handcuffs?
Why? Because you're afraid of the news getting out about you arresting somebody who's innocent, who's making out with her boyfriend?
I have been on the news many times.
Awesome.
So.
Ma'am, I explained to you over there why you're in handcuffs.
Because you asked me to turn around and face the wall, and I didn't.
When you left my supervisor, when he told me to stay, hold on.
Brian, did he tell me to stay, or did I say I'm walking away and I was talking to my dad?
I said I wouldn't, yeah.
Did you hear him tell me to stay here?
Well, I mean, as far
You can't walk away, man.
He didn't say anything to you as you walked away.
You didn't say anything to me as I was walking away. For no reason, just because I literally walked away from him, and he didn't tell me not to walk away. I was on the phone with my
I
dad.
explained to you why we put you in handcuffs.
They both have not wanted for murder, nothing.
No, I've been off for 2 years.
Not wanted for murder, nothing, right? Yeah.
No, it's marijuana and I'm done.
Do you see what time it is? 15 minutes ago, I would have been gone.
But because I didn't give you my ID, you
Because
felt that was enough for me.
It is enough, ma'am. It is enough.
That's fine. You know what? This is not a problem for me.
Okay.
Because I'm going to get all of your names.
It's obviously a problem for you.
No, what is a problem for me is that you think you're better than me, and you think you have more power than me.
I do have more power than you.
And that's not true.
Yes, it's
So I'm
true.
going to show you. You'll
I
see,
have more
because
power
we're all
than you.
equal.
I
And
have
that's
more
what our country is based on. The land of the free and the home of the brave. We are all equal.
Do you need paramedics? You want me to call paramedics for you?
Sure. Yeah, I'd love a tranquilizer. Because if not, when you take me out of these handcuffs, man, it'd be really exciting to see where my mind went, you know? Just because, like, the fact that you just told me you have more power than me makes me feel like you want to destroy me in some way.
But I do have more power than you here.
In this situation, just because I'm in handcuffs does not mean you have more power than me.
Oh, I do. When I tell you to do something, you have to do it, ma'am. That's the law.
Well, clearly I didn't have to do it because I still haven't done it.
Do you want to be out of handcuffs?
I don't know. I can sit here and talk to you all day. I'm enjoying myself. Really. And if you have more charges for me, go ahead, bring them up.
We actually have no charges now.
So why am I still in handcuffs?
Because you're illegally detained.
So why am I still legally detained?
I
Am
asked
I
you
a
if you want me to
threat
take the
society?
handcuffs off you. Do you want me to take the handcuffs off?
I don't know. I'd like to make another YouTube video.
You took something that would take 5 minutes and made it
That's
30.
great. I'm glad because you guys are really showing me something about my country now, right now, and I'm really enjoying this conversation.
Okay, as soon as we're done here,
Great.
we'll show you a little more.
Great. Can I have my phone, please?
Well, you'll get it.
Am I still required
You're still being detained, yes.
Okay, all right. Let me just make sure.
Yes.
Should we take some selfies while we're here? You know, tweet about it. Got arrested today.
You didn't get arrested.
Oh,
you
right. Got detained today because the cops thought that I was a threat. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
No, actually, the cops never called. We didn't call. Somebody else did. We're here for a reason.
To protect and serve those people in the office up there
you want to hear something
who are
even funnier?
personally offended by me making out with my boyfriend.
You want to hear something even funnier?
I bet there's at least one person up there who's a racist. I bet you.
Do you want to hear something funnier?
I bet you're a little bit racist.
We were going to have coffee.
Yeah, God, it could have been a nice afternoon, but instead you got to deal with me.
It would have been 5 minutes.
I know, and I'm enjoying this because instead of fucking around at a coffee shop, now you get to fuck around with me. Public servants, you guys work for us, don't you?
I don't work for you.
Isn't that what your oath is, to protect and serve servants of the people?
I work for anyone who calls for police service. It just took longer than I assumed, so
I mean,
I'm sorry.
hey, this is your job,
Are you guys done with the
you get to deal with
FIs?
crazy batshit fuckers like me every day of the week,
You are?
right? That's what you signed up for. I signed up for freedom because I thought America was the land of the free and the home of the brave, you know? I'm pretty fucking brave, but I don't go around putting people in handcuffs, so, you know. I guess we all have our destinies, right? I serve freedom and love. You guys serve detainment. That's cool. That's cool. That's fun.
I might have
I hope
one.
you sleep well tonight. I know
All right.
that, you know?
All right, we'll see you guys.
I hope you feel free. I hope when you're fucking your spouses,
Go ahead and take
you
your
really
cuffs off
feel
and
like
you can go.
alive, you know, that you feel thankful, full of gratitude for the freedom that you have, that you share with the people of this country every day. I'm saying all of this with love, you know, really.
Do you want the handcuffs off right now?
Well, I mean, I could sit here and shoot the shit with you guys all day because I haven't done anything wrong, so.
So can I. Just go ahead, stand up, turn around if you want the cuffs off.
Well, this has been fun, guys, really.
Has it?
Really, it has been.
It hasn't been fun for me.
I know, and that's why I really, at the end of the day, have a lot of compassion for you guys.
Has not been fun for me.
Because you get to go around making people feel like they're powerless, and you get to walk around with this false sense of power that's not real. Because at the end of the day,
at any
if you don't work for me, if you say that you don't work for me, if you're not here to serve the people of this country, then you're not living up to what you're here for.
At any time, has anybody said anything disrespectful to you?
You guys signed up for it, yes. They've all said disrespectful
What did they
things
say?
to me.
What did they say that was disrespectful?
You know what, if I felt like you were coming from a place of love...
I'm not.
Exactly. So...
Did they say anything disrespectful to you at all?
Yeah.
What? Tell me one thing that they said disrespectful.
You're sergeant. He's really actually been...
Yeah, I'm the boss of everybody.
You know what's interesting about all this? I don't even want that.
All right. Hey, I thank you.